This is Grizzly Adams here, and I am still broadcasting from my bedroom. This is COFOH Live Undead. And I am your host, Daniel Crosier. I am joined by the amazingly talented Barry McClain Jr. But first, well, maybe first, come on. Something on my face.
That's fucking awesome.
How are you, sir?
I'm all right, brother. How are you?
Good, good. Thanks for joining us this Saturday.
Anytime, man. Anytime. It's a pleasure to be here. It's an honor to be here. And you know, man, it's all about the undead over here, baby.
Oh, nice. Excellent, excellent.
That's right.
So, Barry, tell us a little bit about yourself, you know, where you come from and how you got into comics.
Well, originally from Trenton, New Jersey. I now reside in Denver, Colorado. But I got into comics, man, kind of like anybody else. If it's a relative or something, or you just finally get your first wind of it from like the days when we were going to Woolworth or 7-Eleven, you know what I mean? You see that book on the rack.
God, Woolworth. I haven't heard that for a long time.
Showing my age. And but my mom kind of got me into comics, honestly. You know what I mean? My mom and her brother, because they're from like the Marvel age, back in the 60s, the atomic age. And she was a prototypical geek chick. She collected all issues of Fangoria. I grew up on Fangoria magazine.
Nice.
I got this even cool picture laying on my mom's belly with my sister in the inside of her belly, and she's reading Fangoria, and I'm reading Spider-Man. It's like I was born into this. I was born to do comics. She taught me even how to draw stuff, even how to draw women too. She was like, "Man, that's a manly ass bit." And this is my mom. She raw, man. She's like talking to a pirate, my mom. And but she used to draw like all those Marvel superheroes for me and everything like that, tell me the stories and of the origins of those characters, and that became my bedtime stories. And I was just such a lucky kid to grow up with that type of fervor for all things geek and horror though. It was an amazing time. But at that point, growing up, you get to a point that I kind of want to do this because I was drawing Spider-Man face in the mud. Then I get to a point that I want to draw it on paper. And so she taught me tricks and tips here and there. And then I finally got to collecting comics. I want to say probably 12 or 11 years old. And that was, I really honestly, guys, like Brian Pulido of like Chaos Comics and Coffin Comics now. I seen in the Fangoria magazine, this is odd, because I seen this Evil Ernie promo. And Ernie like this, it was Youth Gone Wild. I never seen anything like that before in my life. And I was like, oh my God, that's like comic books. And this is horror. And it's like both at the same time that my mom, you know, it's your mom. The way to get my mom's good graces is like, I like the blood, Mom. I like the decapitations, Mom. And she's like, oh, you in? Like, it's weird, right?
That's awesome, though.
It is awesome, man. Again, I'm just like fucking lucky. And then, you know, you just draw and you find out that you draw a car or a ball better than your friends and your peers in class. And I quickly became the best artist in school all the time. And that's why I want artists to know, it's always the best artist in school. It's about like 2 or 3 of you. And then you got to think in every school is 2 or 3 better artists. And then like, you really want to think, how do I stand out? You got to work at the work because you ain't hot shit. Everybody's hot shit, but it's consistency that matters. And 12, my dad took me to see Dan Jurgens and Brett Breeden at Comic Relief. and this is a comic book shop that was in Mercer County. You know what I mean, Mercer Mall, and this was around the Death of Superman time. Everybody remember that shit, right?
Right.
Death of Superman, and this is when he returned, and it was Dan Jurgens. No, it was Mike Carlin, actually, the editor and writer at the time of Superman, and Brett Breeden, who's going to be at Colorado Springs Con this year.
Right.
I would love to get a booth in there. If whoever's listening there, please book a table for me. Let me get a table, because he saw my art when I was 12. And him and Mike Carlin looked at it. My dad took me. I love that, man. And he told me, he was like, ask him what you can do to get better. And that's how my dad, he's a military guy and stuff. He's always about improving and stuff. Yeah. And so I do it. And I remember specifically, Mike Carlin looked at my stuff. He was like, yo, kid, you got storytelling chops. He seen my panel. I had a marker and pencil and ink, little fucking ballpoint. It was trash, dude. But it was like back then, they saw it. They saw it. DC saw it. Yeah. And I'm only 12. And Brett Breeden said, go thin to thick lines. And something like, he said, go thin to thick lines, something like I do like right now with like this. Like you probably can't see it really, but
okay.
It's like thin to thick lines showing contour on your work. Right. I've been doing it ever since. Brett Breeden taught me that. So, and that was when I was 12. So, and now I'm working professional, you know what I mean? And then you go through school. I kind of gave it up a little bit. I kind of gave comic books up, because when you get to high school, after junior high, I was still the best artist in class. I get to high school, and then like girls not interested because you got X-Men number 25. There's a lot of toes happening in the stalls here for us nerds. You know what I mean? So
your priorities have changed.
Have to, because girls get involved. You actually want to take baths all of a sudden. Yeah. You know? So, you remember that change. Yeah, you know, like you don't want to smell gross anymore. Yeah. And so when that happened, I kind of changed the motif to hip hop, because I also rhyme as well. And on top of being a metalhead, I've been in bands and stuff like that later on in life, being a lead singer in bands. But I had to change the flow from hip hop to hip hop, because girls just like, I don't care about the Phalanx Covenant invading the X-Men. You know, I just care about like, what's that new Wu-Tang album? Like,
right.
And then I was rhyming and everything. And, you know, I got really good on the mic and everything, got attention that way. But then by the time high school ended, I really wanted to pursue my career in art seriously at Catherine Gibbs School of Graphic Design. And I love that school. They gave me a shot doing underground work, like under the table work. We were doing hip hop artists when I enrolled in the school. I got hired in the school. They was like, we want you here already. They accepted me of course they want the money, but they accepted me like right then and there, because they wanted to take credit for me immediately. They took some Sonic the Hedgehog picture I drew. Sonic, though, I'm like, whatever. And so they took it. I ran into my man, Yahar McGray. I love that man too. He was paying me under the table at a book called Wake Magazine. I was drawing. It was my first paid work as an artist, really, instead of like doing flyers for bar mitzvahs and hip hop. And it was Wake Magazine. I did hip hop artists and superheroes on the covers. That did good for me. It was like, wow, my first work. I didn't really get my first work until about 2011. I lost that job because of life stuff, and I never lost a job in comics ever again after that, Daniel. Like that was a real hard lesson that I learned when I was like, I want to say like 21, that I lost that gig. And you know, I mean, I've been looking back. I've never looked back ever since. It was with Back Row Comics and stuff. Brady Sullivan, I still plan on working with you, man. We're still friends, you know what I mean? But I got signed professionally after I did a book called Serial Tax with my friend Matt Pierce. It was a horror book, and he was a meat wagon guy. And I was living in an apartment on Grand Street here in Colorado after I moved from Jersey to Colorado at 25. And then he was looking at me at my work, because he came in, we throwing back IPAs. Like, I ain't drink IPA till I moved out Colorado. That's the plague you guys gave me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because out Jersey, we drinking Henny, we drinking Beck's Heine. You know what I mean? Out here, this is like all IPA, special brewed.
Yeah.
So I'm getting a belly with him drinking that. And he was like, yo, man, you should really do a comic book. I'm like, I want to get in. And so Bartertown Comics in Inglewood, there was a comic shop there, and they were looking to start a brand up. It was called Bartertown Comics, and Shane Montroy was the guy's name, and I won't forget him because he gave me my start kind of at Denver Comic Con, and we did a lot of indie books. I drew, penciled and inked all of them, of course, because I'm a freak show, and some freak, man. And and then
you're a hard worker, is what you are.
But a freak about it, though, man. Yeah. Like, you know, like my family is even overloved, like my work. Like, you know, I overlove them at times. I can't help it. You're getting a kiss when we meet at the con. You know what I
mean? Like, you're a passionate person.
I'm a freak. But we did the books, and they didn't quite hit. I went the methods of stalking editors on LinkedIn, going to the cons, meeting people like Zach Howard, who gave me advice. And I love that man. I love Zach because he gave me advice. He was like, "That's not a door. This is a door." You know what I mean? You know, and that stuff really matters to me. Yeah. Brian Polito, finally got to meet him. It comes full circle. Cool. Jimmy Palmiotti, all those guys. They kind of, and Mike Grell.
Cool. Nice.
And Neil Adams as well. They kind of took me under the wing and told me good stuff and said, "That shit sucks. Don't do that again." And I said, "Okay," not crying like, "Oh my God, just, you know, I took it because I'm from New Jersey. We like the beatings."
Yeah.
In New Jersey, we like the abuse, man.
Well, but it tempers you. You know, it makes you that much better when you're able to take that kind of criticism and critique and
I love it, brother.
Turn it to you know, improving your work.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, all the time, and I don't want it. I'm even like that with my friends, and I consider you a friend if you come to me like that. I consider you a friend because you'd be like, if you buy my work all the time, are you paying attention to it? If you see something that you see that. Yeah, everything is subjective and objective, but if it's your fans, you really got to kind of listen to what's going on with your work. You can't just be so close-minded and then you're on your soapbox because everybody tells you your shit's good, right? Because they like your style. But at the same time, it's all about growth. It's masterizing this here. I mean, the work is never done.
Yeah.
And once you realize that, you'll be better off in the end. And so I took the beatings. Even Neil Adams was like, "That's not black people hair." I was like, "What are you talking about? I'm black. I don't know how to do it." He was like, "No, you know, like it's frizzy. What are you doing?" But then I had to tell Neil. I was like, "Neil, you know, brothers like 360 waves. You know what I mean? Like they do. And we were wave caps like so." Even though I got dreads tied down, I was swimming, guys. And I'm looking wild right now. But Neil Adams. Told me stuff, and Mike Grell gave me my first work, introduced me to Shannon Eric Denton. I don't know if you guys know who Shannon Eric Denton is. He's all Hollywood, my brother, big brother. I meet Justin Gray through all this journey. I meet Justin Gray and Mike Barron, and then that's when things really start popping. But before that, I got to go back to 2015, the pinnacle moment and where everything changed for me. Because I'm there. I got all these books, Serial Tags, Oblivion Chain, of books that I did. And with my man, Mike Duke, who we're doing a book together right now. It's a metal book. I'm going to talk about that in a few.
Cool.
But I had an idea because I was pissed off that writers don't get their due because I'm a writer's fan more than an artist fan.
Okay.
Mike Duke is the best writer you've never heard of yet. And so when you see this book, and then I said, why not I do my pencil samples, a sample of the pencil page, like so, like just the pencils. And it'll be right here. And on this side, it'll be a picture of the script. And so the editor can just read the script and see how it flows on the other side of the book. So me and him put our hard-earned money, and we had printed this at FedEx. You know, everything shitty, brother. And so fake it till you make it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then we did it, handed him around, met Jimmy Palmiotti. He was like, because his brother, Peter Palmiotti, was my anchor at one point. And then
he was my anchor at one point, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Palmiotti, man, I love that dude.
Yeah, he's cool.
He's cool, man. Human Art Studios and all that, man. Everybody go follow him, please. That's my brother forever. And he was telling Jimmy about me, of course, their family. And then I go up there, and Jimmy's just doodling away. I was like, "Hey, Jimmy." He didn't even look up my table. He was like, "Hey, Barry." He knew I was coming.
Yeah.
And so I seen him chop up somebody else's portfolio to fuck up to hell. And then I was like, oh my God. So I hand him my portfolio, all quivery. And the man just like, oh my God, Jimmy, look at this. This is that. This is that. And then one thing, artist, if you can get in with whoever you're trying to schmooze with's wife, you're good.
There you go.
I got in with White Squirrel's wife. I got in with Jimmy's wife. I got in with Polito's wife, Francesca. You got to get in with the gatekeeper first, dude.
Right.
You know what I mean? But so that way they know that you have their husband's or wife's best interests in mind. You know, it's professional. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, but their wives always been my biggest rooters. So it's like I'm lucky because even Mike Grell's wife was like, "Look at that hair, Mike. Look at that hair. Look how we do hair." Like nice. Hair saved me, and so I love drawing hair. But
hair's great. You know, you were talking about waves. I totally concur. I love drawing waves and waves of hair.
Yeah, it really adds character in the eyes as well, in hands. But after he looked at my stuff, Jimmy Palombiani goes, "Barry, I can't do nothing for you, but go over to Boom. Go to Boom Studios. They up there in 2015, Denver Comic-Con. And they don't do it like this no more because they all about stars and stuff right now. But if they get back to the core, you can get more of me coming out of Colorado." And so I go over there, but I was like, I don't want to get off on Jimmy's wings. You know what I mean? I'm a Jersey boy. I like doing it myself, even though I like the hookup. Thank you. But I get kind of pissed. You know, Zenscope said they ain't want to fuck with me, whatever. So I storm out there, go to Grey Wall. You know where Grey Wall is downtown. Me and Mike Duke was like, "Barry, just chill." He's always been my mediator. He's always my mediator. He's like, "Barry, calm down. We're going to get a bite. Calm down." So Matt Pierce calls me back. He's selling cereal tags at our booth. He goes, "Barry, get down here." Because Justin Schroeder, one of my friends here, he taught the Valiant. And he was like, "Man, you are insane if you don't hire Barry McClain, man." And Justin's one of my biggest supporters, big comic book fan, man. We need more of them in this world. I'm here because of comic book fans. I'm only here because of the fans, period.
Yeah.
And that's the only way I want it. And so he told him, I come running back down there with my portfolio, go to Dinesh Samnasani, my brother, nerd boss at Valiant. He's one of the only millionaires I can call, and I will get a call back that same day.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and I anytime I call this guy, he always interested in what I've got going on because I'm here because of him. Nice. He looks at my portfolio, goes, "Come to the back." Goes 1, 2, 3, 4, a 5, and a 6. You're hired.
What is it? You're leaking through a lollipop or something?
Yeah, like a Tootsie Pop. I had to do the analogy. Because that's how it felt. And then I give him without a hesitation, give him a big old hug and a kiss on the cheek. And I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. He was like, "Nah, Barry, all you new guys start like this." And then talked to his editor, gave me the golden ticket. A week later, I'm working for Valiant Entertainment in New York. Nice. Doing stock work for everything from Exo Man of War to Shadow Man. And, you know what I mean? And just all stock art. You know, it's like being a stock artist is like working down in the mailroom. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I did that, paid my dues, and at this time I'm trying to get with Blue Juice Comics, and who I am with now.
Yeah.
Because I work with mad different companies, but I just wasn't getting no goddamn comps. I'm spending years of my life doing just portions of runs. You know what I mean? Even with Ron Fortier. Ron Fortier gave me my start, and I did something with him. And then but in the midst of all that, I meet Mike Barron.
Right.
And Mike Barron is, for anybody that don't know, he's the first artist to ever lead the Big Two to show that he can make a comic book character that's viable. You know what I mean? Without being with the Big Two. You know what I mean? And that right there, I was like, I can get behind that right there. And I was already a fan of Mike Baron, but I didn't learn that part of his history till I'm a grown man. Back in the day, I didn't know he was the one that turned Punisher black. But he didn't do that. He only did it because he was paid to. It was a Marvel cash grab. You're a writer. You're an artist. You get paid to do stuff. You know what I mean? Right. It's not like he wasn't thinking no political statement or anything. They were just trying to draw in black readers, and Mike Baron's a genius, so he's good enough to write it. You know what I mean? And I don't take stuff like that to heart. You know what I mean? Creative decisions like that. I really don't. And because even when he came, Mike, I'm not trying to embarrass you, but when you came to my house, he came to my house, and how me and him meet, it's very personable. That's why I love him. He's like my older brother and my mentor. Mike Baron is. And he was like, Barry, about the Punisher thing. I'm like, Barry, you ain't even got to explain that to me. What's the issue?
That was the first thing out of his
One
mouth.
of the first things, though. I was like, dude. And this is before Cue Ball.
Right. Well, I was going to say, did that eventually lead to Cue Ball, that conversation?
Kinda. When he came, I was on the internet. I'm kind of skipping and bouncing around in my history here, but when Baron, he heard me on the internet bitching. You know I'm very vocal, Daniel. And if I don't think something is right, I'm going to say it. If it's not right, I'm going to say it. Like, it's because I consider myself the everyday average Joe blue collar man who works for his dime and goes wake up early, go to bed late, like any other hardworking man. Yeah, from Jersey, man. That's what we do here. There. And in Colorado as well, because I know that about your boys as well. I have known that. That's why I've stayed.
Well, and to be fair, a lot of us are a bunch of stoners that get up a little late. So you got the edge on us.
And that is a plus too. Anyway, he heard me bitching about how black characters were represented because we already have our patriarchs of Black Panther, Black Lightning, Luke Cage, retrofitted hood character, retrofitted. Yeah. I'm tired of the, hey, he was an ex-convict. Oh, he was an ex-football player. All that shit's lame. He's from another country. All that shit we done. So why not do it as a regular American badass that beats up bad guys like Rambo or Commando or something like that? Something that we all can get behind. Yeah. And so Mike Baron comes up to me. He was like, Barry, I got an idea. And I was like, what? He was like, stick or cue ball. We was gonna call him stick or cue ball. And he was like, he was a merchant marine, Cali Escadama martial artist that plays pool. And I was like, from Chicago. I was like, that is fucking genius, dude. Because something like that won't have any demographic. It's military, you know, we support our military and our troops, and we all love martial arts. And me personally, I'm a Run Shaw fan, Bruce Lee fan. You know what I mean? I dig all deep into martial arts, you know. And so we had a no cape mandate. We was like, no fucking capes. And I was like, no mask. I was like, fuck yeah, man. And so Mike Baron said, I want him in a hoodie. I want him in baggy pants. I was like, that shit's not sexy. I was like, yo, I want him sexy. I want chicks to look at Q and be like, ooh, you know what I mean? But I want him also to be able to do martial arts. And I wanted him a reflection of me in a way, because Mike Baron always allowed us artists, even Steve Rude, the Rude dude, to model the characters that he do with off of themselves, like Nexus is with Rude. If you look at Rude's physical, you look at Nexus, you can see Rude's body, a young Steve Rude.
Oh, okay.
You really, you could, man. And that's the beauty of Mike Baron, though. He's a real collaborator, a real one. And not selfish at all. You know what I mean? I dealt with selfish fucks, and he's not that. Yeah. And so very giving and kind. And so he allowed, I was like, no, that's not sexy. I said, we put a cut on his eye and a toothpick in his mouth like a fedora, like Indiana Jones has it. You got a satchel of darts right here, a wallet chain, because I'm a metal dude, and like some gray khakis and a fucking burgundy shirt, like red shirt, blood red shirt, tucked in so we can see the L's belt buckle, and that's going to be explained the further you read when it comes out, guys. And Wallaby Clarks like Wu-Tang Clan to bring them into the zeitgeist of today. Like real hood kids that screams the ghetto without it saying, what's up, homie? No, he don't talk like that. Q-Ball is a military dude. Earned his stripes. He's very short with his words. Yeah. You know what I mean? Very analytical thinking. And he got galls around. He looks like a regular Bad Dude. Remember the video game Bad Dudes?
No, actually, I don't.
Back in the day, it was just like, or Streets of Rage or something like that.
Okay.
Just like stuff. I just wanted it to just be a big street brawl type character.
Okay,
big,
nice.
Thick neck, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Veins in his neck, muscles, all explosions everywhere. You're going to feel like you're reading an 80s book when you get this book. You know what I mean? Like an 80s movie from back in the day. But without the tropes of the 80s. You know what I mean?
Right.
But with the Wilder Clarks and stuff, that brings him to Wu-Tang Clan, and that brings him to a street martial arts thing.
Nice.
He's kind of like Wu-Tang Man. You know what I mean?
Nice.
And being that he's from Chicago, was a lot of other story to be told there.
Yeah.
But I get even Trumpers used to come up to me like, we like that character. You know what I mean? Because he has no demographic. It's like when I explain him to them, they'd be like, can I get 5? 2 from a boy?
Nice. Okay. Cool.
And again, our book brings people together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's not a polarizing book. Even though, you know what I mean, he's probably fighting the Yakuza to the mafia. It doesn't matter. He can fight anybody. Yeah. He has no demographic like Ninja Turtles or Batman. You know what I mean? No demographic. He's loved by everyone. And I love Mike Barron for allowing me to have this opportunity to create something like cue ball. You know what I mean? The white ball knocks all the balls off the table. You know what I'm saying? It can only be one. Cue ball.
That's a good way to put that too. You know, cue ball knocks all the balls off the table. That's awesome.
But that again, Daniel, brings me to after that, and in the midst of that, Justin Gray finally allows me to work on something of his, because
right,
I'm a big fan of his stuff, from Supergirl stuff, his Hellboy stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. What are you working on with him now?
Billy the Kid now.
Awesome.
And now Billy the Kid, that is the story that I have to tell after this. Blue Juice comes first.
Okay.
After I get signed with Valiant, I do all this stock work.
Right.
And then I go, I did the Exo Man of War return thing, and that was good. It got me a lot of money. And it was a lot of money. But at the same time, I was like, I wanted to get a book. I wasn't going to get a book. They were in between changing editorial and everything. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'm tired of chasing it, because Dinesh really couldn't do everything for me. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I got to look other places to earn. And I always wanted to be with Blue Juice, because I'm a big fan of the podcast I Sell Comics and the whole View Askew universe. I'm a Jersey boy, 4 Color Demons. It fits right in. And so Mike and Ming on Smodco did started a podcast a couple weeks before I Sell Comics came out, which is was on The Walking Dead, after The Walking Dead, Talking Dead on AMC.
Oh, okay.
And they had all the guys from this podcast called Tell 'em Steve Dave. Now, Tell 'em Steve Dave is a funny ass podcast. It consists of Brian Quinn of the Impractical Jokers,
cool.
Walt Flanagan of Smodco of View Askew. He's made so many cameos in Kevin Smith movies. He's Kevin Smith's best friend, and Kevin Smith's other best friend, Brian Johnson. And they do horror books and everything like that. Funny ass podcast. And so Mike and Ming is also on that show. And so they did I Sell Comics, and they had Tom Mum, who's now my editor-in-chief over at Blue Juice, on there. And then he was like doing this book called Accelerators. This damn light.
I know. Yeah, it's coming through a little blurry.
Yeah. The Accelerators. And it's a story about this group of people who only could jump forward in time to get back to the time they were from. Genius. Okay. They were explaining it on I Sell Comics, and I was like, oh my God. I'm drawing my book handed to Jack at the time on Atrophy Comics, doing that 5-issue run. And I was like, I gotta get on this shit, man. It's genius. Like, oh my God. So Gavin Smith is the artist on there, and he was coming in on time. So I'm not a vulture capitalist artist. I don't go after hardworking artist jobs. I go after lazy artist jobs. That's the only way to be.
Right.
And so, because they ain't doing it right. Like, you don't like her like that? Well, I like her little tubbiness. She can be with me.
Yeah.
And so that's how I looked at it. And so I see him doing this thing. I love Gavin. He's killing it. He's only grown as an artist. You know what I mean? He's my brother. We work on the same company. we don't hate in the art community. We only just like shit on lazy artists. You know what I mean?
Well, it's you really do need to like support each other. I mean, because it's so community laden too.
It is, and we're all we got, bro. Like we all we got. We are the only ones crazy enough to do this fucking work.
Right.
And to spend the fucking hours to put in the work to do, like, just to make a line look right. You know?
Right.
And so Gavin's doing this thing, Daniel. And so I go, yo, Tom, you got any work? Can I get a pinup or a cover? He goes, no, we ain't got shit. And I go, okay. You know what I mean? But that's how it happened with any editorial, you know?
Right.
So I keep persisting, hitting Mike and Ming up on ISL Comics, Comic Book Man, and everything like that. And so I want to say 2014, I finally get my first pinup in Accelerators number 14. Then I get another one in 15. And then, boom, it just start taking off. Then I get my work in Ambani. And then I get a one-shot. And then I'm just like, oh, my God, I'm getting my own book. It took 6 years working with Blue Juice just to get my first feature. Not a pinup, but pages. And so I proved myself like anybody else, you know. I feel that you have to be that way. And 5 to 6 years is usually the period of time that one takes to get a full book anyway, in any company. And so I did that. And so I'm dealing with Justin Gray here. And I'm like, oh, man, I can't believe I even got Justin Gray's attention. And he's all famous to me, you know what I mean? DC boy. And I'm working with Mr. Marvel at DC here. Then I got another Mr. Marvel DC guy here. And, you know, Marvel DC, this is what happens when you don't treat your writers right, man. Right. Well, you come along and marry him.
Right.
and so he saw some samples that I had because I was throwing him Hellboy samples and everything. He was like, no, Barry, do that, do this. Coaching me. Justin coached me the whole time through the years. And so, hold on, let me get my kitty. This is my kitty. She wants to get in there. Chloe.
Oh, yeah. Hi, Chloe. Some love.
My kitty wants to get in there. She's an old girl.
Yeah. So you're working now with Justin.
With Justin, yeah. And so I show him the samples, and then the Ninja Turtle ones is the one that got him. And so he goes, Barry, I got an idea. Billy the Kid. It's a horror western, and it's based on it's like a spaghetti western, and it's got some Quentin Tarantino vibes in there too. You know
I think we got some art for it too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's all. Actually, that's the cover of issue 2, my friends.
Come on, there it is.
Very bloody, man. And again, it's surreal. He's hell-bent on revenge against the tornado gods who killed his family. It's got a twinge of martial arts in there.
Wow.
It's got like some real good, the bad, the ugly type vibes in there.
Nice.
It's really heavy in writing. Justin does writing, and this is him unleashed and on an Animalverse book, though. I feel the only way we can convey this heavy message that we got, and the message is heavy to me. I'm drawing it, so I know everything that you're gonna know for the next year. So it's really heavy, and at times I even cried drawing it. And I don't mean to.
You really get into your work.
Yeah, man. I didn't even do that with Cue Ball. Cue Ball is like my nipples hard because it's just like, he's Cue Ball is who I wish I was.
Yeah.
And Billy, he's like we all wish we were. Mm-hmm. We all wish we were Billy, because when it comes to a vengeance for the righteous cause, in striking and with conviction, Billy. The passion that you feel, you kick him down, he gets back up. It's Americana at its best, you ask me, because Cowboys is one thing in America besides Coke and Pepsi that we can like totally own. Cowboys. Yeah. And when Cowboy is to me always parallel with the samurai. And
interesting.
Because you got when the samurai when you do the draw and they do the showdown. Mm-hmm. It's like drawing your guns in showdown in the Old West.
Right.
So you get that type of feeling with this too as well. You know, it just fits all perfect. It's a good zeitgeist to the book, and it's pure escapism, and it's something that you have not seen because you would like Ricochet Rabbit and all that stuff, and you'd be like, yeah, I know, you know, that's fine. But this is not that at all. I swear to God, you're gonna cry. It's gonna be some beats in there that you're gonna cry.
Well,
and
that's good. I mean, you really do need good character pieces, right?
Mm-hmm.
Good storytelling. I mean, I think that's what everybody really craves.
Yeah, and my art honestly will come secondary in this because it's always the cover is what one is attracted to. Yeah, I know I'm trying to downplay it and shit because the shit is dope. I know it is, but I'm telling you, when you read it, man, it's like it's a perfect compliment to how Justin writes. He will take you on something that you're going to want to come back for the second installment, and it will be a second installment after this because I'm working on it already. So, good. You know what I mean? Because I'm working on season 2 right now. You know what I mean?
Nice.
When
does Billy the Kid come out?
In October. And that brings me back to Blue Juice. Me and Justin did Billy the Kid, and we kickstarted it. And then I was like, we got to get this published. And luckily enough, by the grace of Jack Kirby, up there, he got us published with Blue Juice. Tom Mom looked down and he was like, "Oh, okay," and here we are. You know what I mean? So I always believe that Kickstarter is quintessential in today's comics because it's like this. My philosophy of comics. Y'all can stone me on the internet all you want. Feel free. I don't care. But you kickstart it. Just you do a little bit of socialism before we get to capitalism. We want to see if it's viable for the fans. If the fans want it, they're going to fund the Kickstarter. That means the numbers are there when it gets funded. And then, of course, it's going to get published after that. It's going to, because once the publishers see that the numbers are there, they're going to swoop it up. And this is the secret, boys and girls. Make sure you finish your fucking run before you bring it out. Because they're going to look at 5 issues of it, and they're going to want 5 issues to publish 5 issues before they want to publish 2 issues. So do the time. Bleed a little bit. I guarantee you're going to win in the end because the fans aren't going to feel cheated when they gave you the Kickstarter money and it didn't get published. Right. Yeah, they're going to be like, "Damn, you want $10,000 again?"
Yeah.
Don't abuse it. Don't abuse it.
That's always tough, like in culture, because I know that's a thing with like Kickstarter. Some funding is successful, and then all of a sudden, nobody gets the rewards.
Right. Nobody gets the rewards. I've been in bad Kickstarters like that. Not this one, but or Cue Ball, because they were successful ones. They're getting published. Cue Ball is going to get published too. I ain't going to tell you who. That's a whole different article. Okay. Oh God, you're going to be happy about that. But
cool.
I'm happy about it. But Mike is happy about it. But I don't want to abuse my readership. They all I got, man. They're my family when my family's not around, and they're my biggest. They're the ones that keep me in line. They police me. You know what I mean? And so I don't want to take advantage of them at all. And all I want is just for you to feel the honor of supporting me and going into the brick and mortar or online to order my stuff or buy my stuff. Go to the brick and mortar, please. It's more fun. Yeah. And it's more fun that way.
Support your local comic book store. Especially,
it's more inspiring. And so, but hopefully me leading by example like this with all my projects, I hope I can tell everybody else. Because if you want to keep kickstarting it, just go fund me or go to Patreon.
Right.
Go to Patreon. Patreon's the better because you be in the tank for the fucking work. So, but that's why I see why a lot of creators don't want to go to Patreon, because you're going to be in the tank for the work.
Right.
Because people don't want to pay the rent. Yeah, for the work. Yeah. So you're going to have to produce. So me, I'm a Jersey boy. Jersey boys, I'd much rather have a stockpile of work. And then I sell it, give myself enough buffer. So now I'm working on it. I'm working on season 2. You getting on it season 1. Nice. Season 2 is going to be ready, and I'm never going to be late.
That's cool. It sounds like your runs. You're starting to talk about them in terms of like seasons, just like TV.
And I told Justin to write the book like Netflix. And the reason, because me and Mike and Justin, we have the best working relationship because it's not so much of don't put that in there and none of that. It's like, what can't we fucking fit in?
Right.
And being that me and Justin is kind of like the same age, he's a little bit older than me, but we both listen to hardcore hip hop. So it's like you can't fake that. Like we start talking about MOP together and shit. Like you be like, oh man, like, oh, look at Ebony and Ivory over there getting along. Like but we brothers. So that's why when we do disagree, it's not a disagreement. It's more like I see it like this, you see it like this. And we be like, no. And then nobody will ever know it's a disagreement because we're brothers. We keep our business in the house. You know what I mean? That's why the work shows. It shows in the work. And so he goes, we doing it. We're going to kickstart it. Where was I? We getting it on Blue Juice was where I was at. Mm-hmm. Now that we when he's developing it, I said, hey, Justin, I see you're doing different parts of his life. I'm not giving too much away in our book. Why not do it like a Netflix show? And then it will already be ready for TV and everything. Because we already talking like Netflix. Well, not Netflix, but we're talking Cartoon Network and HBO for Billy. And so in Blue Juice Comics and Film, they do movies already. Tom Mum my editor-in-chief just finished. I'm throwing a dick out a little bit. He just filming the movie on Netflix real quick. So I'm already tied into Hollywood already with Kevin Smith and comics and all that stuff. And I'm already there, but I just got to make sure we have decent IP so you guys don't feel cheated, the readership and the fans, because that's all I care about. I only care about you guys. I don't give a fuck about the critics. So I really don't. So being that he wrote it like that, every installment, from October to next March 2022, you're going to be fiending every 2 months for that new episode. And then when we release the trade, you're going to get the whole season, and then boom, here's season 2.
There you go. Nice.
There you go. So I like thinking about it like that. So to take the reins from Hollywood a little bit, because I'm not shitting on Hollywood, because I look at movies to do my work. That makes my work better, the screenshots and stuff like that. But I really want them to stop treating us like Shantytown. Comic books. Yeah.
Well, with comics are the basis of what basically the majority of popular culture is now.
Exactly.
I mean, pop culture is nerd culture. It's geek culture.
It is. And being that we have the ideas for the next 40 years.
Yeah.
Don't put us to the side at a con and have us pay for your tables at the con. I know I might be touching a lot of chords and everything, but I talk shit because it's happening. And the only way things is going to change is unless it doesn't. So any place like Rocky Mountain Con, they treat us artists really good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When I got signed at Denver Con, they treated the artists really good. They know that comic books are the core. Four colors are the core. That's why I got 4 color demons shirt on. There's 4 colors. And the 4 colors matter. And those are the stories that are going to last for the next 60. Honestly, really 60. Because everything's already poked and prodded and tested through the readership. Then when it goes to the big screen or the little screen on the film or streaming, it's like baked in. The fan base is baked in. You ain't even got to change shit that much, because I do know and agree that everything that is on the 4 colors won't translate to cinema that well sometimes. And some of the shots I choose. But for the most part, I said, Justin, let's just do it like a movie already.
Nice.
Then people going to think they reading a movie. And I want to bring the attention back. Not shitting on you, Hollywood, because I'm going to use you, but bring it back to the 4 colors. You know what I mean? I want you to feel that excitement I did when I opened up Brian Polito's Evil Ernie Youth Gone Wild.
Oh, and speaking of which, I think I've got a pin up right.
Oh, there it is, right there. Like I was just speaking Brian up. That I'm a big fan of it. I just did the pin up, you know what I mean, for Brian, because I'm just a fan, and that belongs in the HorrorCon. I'm being selling that at HorrorCon. Brian's permission he gave me. And so again, that one right there is Evil Ernie you're looking at, and I'm a big fan of that stuff. You know what I mean? Huge fan of Evil Ernie, and that was one book that always deserved to be a movie. And never. They were talking option Keanu Reeves for that one time in Fangoria magazine. If you ain't know.
Wow, how long ago was that? That sounds
This
like
was back in like 1990. I want to say 1990 or 1989.
yeah, because that character's been around for at least 30 some years, right?
Yeah. Evil Ernie, but I think that piece of his property is down with another company, Devil's Due. It's on Devil's Due books now.
Oh,
Evil Ernie.
cool.
He sold that property to Devil's Due.
No kidding.
But that's just one reason I don't want to touch Evil Ernie no more unless it's under Brian's tutelage. If Brian doesn't have anything to do with it, I wouldn't even want to touch Evil Ernie professionally, even though it's a dream of mine.
Right.
And actually, Billy was going to be on Devil's Due, but that fell through.
Okay.
So again, I'm happy is where it's treated the best. Billy is where it's going to be treated the best, and where the fans is going to get the most out of it. I feel.
That's cool. So we can't wait to see it come October. But I wanted to showcase a number of the pieces that you sent over too.
Yeah, please.
And,
yeah, man, that's a Walking Dead piece I did right there.
Yeah, this one's a lot of fun. It reminds me of Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah, and I just love the drippiness in the gore because being a horror guy growing up, I was into like a lot of Tom Savini stuff and a lot of Tom Savini stuff in any H.P. Lovecraft type movie. But when it comes to the gore, I always like the blood bags and the practical effects where they put air back pockets underneath the prosthetic, and then you can squeeze it and you get the pulsating coming out. Because my mom taught me about those stuff when I was probably 6. And she was like, she used to go, BT, that's what they call me. BT, watch this. Watch when he gets sliced in the throat, he'll squeeze down on his neck and watch the blood bag come out. I'm like, oh, she was like, that ain't nothing but syrup, baby. I'm like, oh, none of the shit never scared me. But I like the gore, like movies like Rawhead Rex. That's really like Rawhead Rex, and but it's practically spaghetti hard. Yeah. Because the kills come so quick, so often, so funny, but you don't really even care. It's cheap. You don't really think that the psychos are real. Even with Basket Case stuff, how gory that was. You remember Basket Case?
Oh yeah, I love that movie. It's the stop motion.
Yeah. Belial, the monster was Belial.
Right.
But with that one right there, I wanted to really feel a lot of the gore, like when you see stuff like the little girl dressed in the clown suit, and then you see a guy with a pencil stabbed in his neck. That's basically a nod to artists. You know what I mean? That's some random artist. You know what I mean?
Right.
But the more gorier, the better. Me personally, I like the gore.
Yeah.
But true horror, to me, is what Bernie writes and teaches us. It's not necessarily the monster busting out the closet or coming from under the bed. It's actually that one well-dressed guy standing in the rain with an umbrella, and he's perfectly dressed, except for one spot on his shoe of blood.
Right.
Where the hell that blood come from, dude?
Right.
You got him in the house already, though.
Right. Oh, man. Yeah, this is another one I really like that you sent over, the Beetlejuice one.
Oh, man. The Beetlejuice is anything Tim Burton. I got to tell you, me being the age I am, I know the whole story on how Nightmare Before Christmas came, and I know what Tim Burton went through creatively and everything. But this Beetlejuice was the thing that really got all of us. Beetlejuice was like a superhero, practically. Michael Keaton made, and I wanted to do on this piece a point. What if Beetlejuice actually got revenge on that sandworm? You know what I mean? It's stuffed and mounted on the Dietz's mantle over there.
Yeah.
And then again, it's a nod to Tim Burton because you see Jack and Sally pictures up in there. Right. You see Jack, a mask of Jack, the picture of Sally, the shrunken heads on the wall.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. When you look outside of the window, you see the nether realm.
Right. Right.
But how I drew the nether realm, I drew it as a 2D plane. Like it's like paper mache. Like paper, like you see the cloud in back of the sun. No, the clouds are always in front of the sun. If you look closely, you see the clouds in back of the sun on purpose because it's supposed to be warped and backwards in the nether realm.
Right.
And then you see you see this, which I call
Uh-oh, what are you getting?
1 second. Did you see this, which I call our Bible?
What is that? It's showing up blurry.
The hand guide for the recently deceased.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh my God, that's great.
And I got that sitting next to him. So it's like a geek fest of all that is Tim Burton on that. Only thing is missing is Corpse Bride. You know what I mean?
Oh my God. And then of course you sent over an Elvira piece. Elvira,
okay.
you know, I think at least she used to be a resident of Colorado Springs.
She used to be. She absolutely used to be, which was another honor it is to live here in Colorado, because your horror roots are here. It really is. Just like me being from New Jersey, being New Jersey Devil, that's big on our shit, man. The spooky New Jersey is big. That's why in the Salem witch trials and all that, I mean, it's really big. Horror is really big and witchcraft is really big. The occult is big on the East Coast, man. But Elvira here, she is like a Svengali type character, right? Mm-hmm. She is our generation, you and I, the one that we go to see them old horror movies back in the day, and she always had this sexy twinge to her thing, and I just couldn't wait every Halloween for something of her to be on, man. Yeah, anything, and I just wanted to have the skull next to her with the 3D glasses, like she's doing her thing that she normally does. Judging movies, talking shit. Like she was doing Mystery Science Theater before Mystery Science Theater. Right. Most definitely. She was. And again, like the more gothic I could make her, I really wanted to get to touch the little boy in all of us. That ain't come out right, but and all the little girls who appreciate her, because all those girls that were fans of her are mothers today. You know what I mean? A lot of the girls really dig that piece, more so than the guys, with all that leg she's showing. You know what I mean?
And then you got some Stranger Things action going.
Yeah. Again, when the Donner boys, what do they call? I think they're the Duffer Brothers. The Duffer Brothers did that. You know, it touched us all because it was a form of horror that was entwined with the Goonies. Right. It's a hinge of the Goonies with a hinge of everything that we know that's horror back in the day. Yeah, very Spielberg-like. Yeah, very Spielbergian and very It. Yeah. Stephen King too. Right. But the innocence of it, putting it in that period piece of the 80s, touched us. It touched us in such a warm way that I don't even want to let go anymore. You know what I mean? It's kind of sad to see him grow up for the last season, probably. Right. You know, and when you see that Demogorgon, and I decided to I wanted to depict the upside down. So I did the upside down reality, like in a kaleidoscope effect. Sure. And, you know, she's always got her nose bleeding. I was like, I'm not doing it with no goddamn egos. So, because I've seen a million fan pictures of her with egos. Just draw an ego. That's all. Yeah, let go. Just let go. Yeah. This time, let the fuck go. Like, but I wanted to do a more unique piece, and I even got Will is even in that picture. If you really use your imagination and look at that two-way radio we got, Will is in that picture. Oh, okay. If you use your imagination, and so I did seasons 1, 2, and 3 pinups of them. So you're going to see the other ones at HorrorCon as well. Nice. Yeah. Nice. And then you got the classic Universal monsters. Yeah, and I got to say, being that my mom was the one that got me into horror, I had to do a Universal monsters piece because was that her favorite? Yeah, she loved the Universal monsters the best, but in modern horror, she's more Carpenter. She's more Carpenter, and she read a lot of Lovecraft, so the Reanimator was way up her alley and stuff. Wow. Well, definitely, like, she always gets a kick out of the part when the doctor slides the head on the table and it keeps sliding down. He was trying to prop it up, right? Yeah, she really liked that. That's awesome. It sounds like your mom was just amazing and absolutely essential for your upbringing. She was, man, and my dad was badass too with that stuff, man. You know, I come from an era where they say, close your eyes on this part. Yeah. You know. So again, that Universal Monsters was definitely a love letter to her. I'm doing the colors on this Little Shop of Horrors. This looks dynamic. Yeah, it's going to be fun when you see the colors pop on that, because it's a piece that's dear to me because I grew up in the theater, like doing school plays. I did a lot of school plays and stuff. And when I was introduced to Little Shop of Horrors, me and my sister, it was intoxicating. You know what I mean? The music when I was little, and then it was an actual horror. And when I look at the old one, I was like, it can't compare to the new one. It just can't compare to the remake with the girls and everything singing in it like that. It was just like, it was a perfect thing to scare the shit out of you, but it was tuning along to it. And when you see the alternate ending, when you take over the world, spoilers, it's so fucking depressing. I like the ending with the monster sticking his hand out of the grave when you see the camera pans back and you see Audrey 2, and then Audrey 2 smiles. And that was the one that we seen on HBO and stuff like that. We seen that ending. If you get the DVD, they'll give you the end of the world one where everybody gets a plant and then the plants take over the whole world.
Okay. I guess I never saw that version. I always saw the one where it's the
perfect ending.
Yes.
Yeah. It's when they end up with somewhere that's green, and then the camera pans back, and the Audrey 2 smiles.
Yeah. That
was the one. That was the ending I honestly like. I didn't like the nuclear option, but
yeah. Oh man, that's cool. Yeah. Barry, it's been amazing having you on and being able to reconnect with you and catch up and everything. It's
friend, always, Daniel. I mean, again, next time when we see each other, it'll be over a beer later that day, okay?
That's right. Coffee.
Definitely. And I don't give a fuck if I gotta carry ass to the bar, bitch. Like, you going, bitch. Like,
yeah. It'll be fun to see you at COFOH. Zach is going to be there, so that's going to be awesome. And it'll be really exciting, and I'm really excited and happy for all of your success. I mean,
thank you, brother. I'll take it one day at a time. I'm just a Jersey boy living in the fucking Jersey world. It's like, no, but again,
in Colorado, no less.
I know, and I love me some Colorado.
Yeah,
but I'm going to be releasing Billy the Kid there as exclusives there at COFOH. So everybody's going to be able to get early access a month in advance there. My editor-in-chief.
Oh, that's very sweet. Send us information so we can promote that.
Oh, honestly, I will. I absolutely will. I have Tom on my editor send you a whole press package.
Okay.
And on top of that, I'm going to have the pinups there. And can I sell some comics real quick?
Yeah, definitely. Where can people buy your comics?
Thank you. I got Accelerators. I'm in Accelerators. The newest one, Volume 4. I know y'all probably can't see that very good, but Accelerators. There you go. Accelerators.
It's accelerating so fast, it's motion line.
It's moving. Accelerators, Volume 4. It's called Backwards and Forwards. I'm also in the trade Relativity, and that's Accelerators, Volume 2. Please pick that up at Jay and Silent Bob Secret Stash, wherever comic books are stored in your brick and mortar. Please order. And as well, I'm in issues 14.
Nice.
And I got Anne Bonnie. I got this trade right here. Hold on, guys. Let me see if I can get some light off that. Y'all, Anne Bonnie, please pick that up right now. And it's Pirates. It's called Spirates. Anne Bonnie Spirates. Show you some of the beautiful artwork in there. Here we go. Ooh, lovely. My colorist, Charlie Wog from across the pond. He did all the colors on there. He's my brother from another mother, man. Nice. As well as I want to give a shout out to my man, Phil Will, 4 Color Demons. You know what I mean? He do a lot of colors for me as well. He's doing the inks and colors and stuff. Inks for Walt Flanagan on this book, Metro, with Brian Quinn right there. Check that out. As well, buy Monsters and Magi. I also have that out on Blue Juice Comics. You can buy that in Jay and Silent Bob Secret Stash or wherever comic books are sold. And please call them up and get Cue Ball issue number 1 by Mike Barron. Please, guys. But other than that, feel free to talk shit to me on the internet. I'm always up for that. I don't say nothing. I just laugh with you.
We've got your Instagram streaming down below. You can follow Barry at stay_broke on Instagram. So make sure to look him up. And I
appreciate it, guys. Again, thanks for all the support to the fans. Daniel, as well, man. I swear to God, you do a lot for me, man. And I appreciate the community that we do have here in Colorado. It's real strong.
Yeah.
And again, burn lead till you're dead, Four Color Demons. Stay safe out there.
Thanks so much, Barry.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. Love you.
Yeah, thanks. Stick around for a few minutes while we sign off. But yeah, just wanted to say thanks to Hellfire Media for broadcasting us on your social media, and Mutiny Cafe for putting up with us. But also, if you're going to start a revolution, make sure it's caffeinated. And then also Alien Donut Films, our sponsor. Bill and Angela over there, thanks so much for putting up with us. And my producers, Stefan Santa Cruz and Amanda Armstrong, thanks so much for your support, guys. And to everybody else out there, be good, be kind, help each other out during these tough times, and always remember, we love you. Take care. Bye.